What's good, everybody, and welcome into the Monday edition of the Coach and Bro Show, part of the BTT Universe. I'm your boy, the Coach, and my goodness, did we have a weekend in the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. This is where you come every single Monday and Thursday. We are live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also watch us on demand anytime you want at our BTT YouTube page. Now, a big-time thank you to all of you. Overnight, Sunday night, we just passed the 15,000 subscriber mark. 15,000. So thank you to all of you. Now, we have a brand new sponsor, but before we bring them on board, let's bring in my partner from russosbrand.com. He is the one and only Vince Russo. Vince, busy weekend. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Very, very busy weekend with the Royal Rumble. I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about that today, Coach. Little empty yesterday, though, man. When you have a week without NFL after how many months, it's like you don't know what to do with yourself almost. When there's no NFL on Sunday, it's like, what, man? It's 2 p.m. What am I watching? You know what I mean?
It was such. So I had I was at my son's golf tournament. He had a 2-day tournament. And so I was busy, thank goodness. Otherwise, I would have been in the same exact place you were. What are we doing? Super Bowl's this Sunday. And, Coach and Company live every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We started our coverage this morning, so we're excited about that. But, Vince, what we're also excited about here at the Coach and Bro Show, you've decided that in your household, you're not going to shave and you're going to look like Grizzly Adams for a very, very long time. But you're also very clean. But some people are not. And some things they don't talk about is the funk that you walk around with every single day. So our brand new sponsor is Mando from shopmando.com. And I said, hey, if we're going to have it here on the show, you're going to send it to me so I can try it before we even get it on the show. So here's what we're going to do. I got my starter pack about a week ago, and I've been trying it. I have never smelled better, Vince, than I have in the last week. So here's what the starter pack looks like. You can have your stick of deodorant. You can have your your tube of deodorant, which most places don't have because you normally just put it in the normal places. Not here with Mando, because the doctor who founded it, she's amazing. But she also realized you got funk all over your body. Then you get 2 free items as part of the starter pack. I decided to go with something that I think you would wear. The bourbon leather body wash or the deodorant wipes. Those are the 2 free items that I chose. And if they use the code EXPLODES, EXPLODES, you get $5 off. That's the equivalent of 40% off your Mando starter pack at shopmando.com. And Vince, one other thing, they threw in the cleansing bar. I haven't even opened it. You can smell it through the box. It's that good. Shopmando.com. Could not be more excited. Your thoughts?
Okay. Let's put the mamby-pamby aside. Gentlemen, and I use that term loosely, listening to this show, it took me 64 years to come up with a cure for the sweaty balls. You know what I'm talking about, gentlemen, and I don't wear any underwear, so it's 3 times as worse. 64 years I'm walking around with the sweaty balls, Coach, and then I get these Mando wipes, bro. These Mando wipes, I go down to the grundle. I use these wipes on the grundle. 72 hours, odor-free. 72 hours, balls smelling like baby powder. 72 hours, gentlemen. Come on, man. If you want the hey nanny, you can't have a stinky grundle down there. Mando is the answer. All right, Coach, let's get down to business.
All right, if you want to be a part of the Coach and Bro Show and we want to know your opinion, Mr. Vince Russo, please let the good people know home. Let them know how they can be a part of the show, sir.
Yeah, guys, please. We love your involvement on this show, and you can do that through a super sticker or a donation. It could be a question, it could be a comment, and we will throw you right up on the screen, and we will address whatever you have to say through a super sticker or a comment.
All right. And once again, thank you to Shop Mando or Mando at shopmando.com. All right, Vince, we got a lot to talk about. And the beauty of pro wrestling when we had a night like Saturday night, and not all of it was great, but when you have a night like that, it makes doing a show like this so incredibly easy. Now, I'm going to pat myself on the back because I called it 2 or 3 weeks ago when I looked at the layout with the number of stars and who could benefit the most, and the fact that right here on the Coach and Bro Show, when they had Jey Uso be the Intercontinental Champion for a heartbeat, I said they're thinking about something bigger. And he was 60-1 at mybookie.ag to go off. If you bet on Jey Uso, you cleaned up. The way they did it, though, did you like it?
Listen, I don't like the decision, but I know, I've come to the understanding of, why the WWE is doing what they're doing. I am still all about getting those casual fans. The WWE and I are on two separate pages. I understand that. They're making money hand over fist. They're catering to an audience that they already have. Jey Uso is not going to draw any casual fans. John Cena would have. But again, man, it's their company. They're free to do what they want. But this is really just an example, Coach, of them just kind of turning their back on the casual fan base. I mean, I just, listen, good for Jey. He's a hard worker. He's been there a really long time. Charisma at the wazoo. The people are with him. All those things. However, when it comes to business at the end of the day, I just don't think he's going to bring that casual fan base back.
All right, so I'm going to disagree with you in this way, that if they do something with this, then maybe they can. From a business perspective, right now, he's got the #1 selling T-shirt in the entire company and has had for 2 or 3 months. They talk about, I don't think he's going to be a part of the main event, even though that's what it's supposed to be when you win the Royal Rumble, because I've always said if you start a show off and everybody's yeeting, that's an incredible look. But to your point of bringing in the casual fan, that's got to be the #1 thing that they think about when they're putting it out there. So let me ask you this. How would you have done it differently in order to try to draw that casual fan in? Because they were far and away the #1 trending topic on Saturday night, which they normally are for a PLE. What would you have done differently to get to the end of that men's match?
I think what I would have done, Coach, here's what I see happening. This is what I see happening just looking at the way things are laying out. They've already gone down the road, and Gunther has already stated that Jey Uso has faced him a couple of times and never beaten him. So I think they've set that up for WrestleMania, where he's going to get that one last shot against Gunther, and of course at WrestleMania, defeat Gunther for the first time and become the champion. In conjunction with that, they got to pay off CM Punk going to a main event at WrestleMania. You can't wait around because Punk is getting older. Punk always gets injured. So I believe Punk is going to win the Elimination Chamber at WrestleMania. I mean, the Elimination Chamber, go to WrestleMania and meet Cody Rhodes. I believe what they're going to do, Coach, and this is where I differ from them.
Okay.
I believe Cena's going to keep coming up short. We've got a year of this John Cena tour till finally towards the end of the year, he finally gets that title shot. What I would have done is I'm not into waiting. I'm into the here and the now. And I want to get those casual fans back immediately. That's why I would have put Cena over at the Royal Rumble, him and Cody Rhodes, at WrestleMania. But I have no patience. I'm from New York. I like to do things immediately. Like I said, man, I think Cena's going to keep falling short. And then when we get to the end of the run, he's finally going to get that shot.
Okay, fair. Well, we have Nonsense McGee. He wants to be a part of the conversation, Vince.
Beautiful.
Via a super sticker. He says, myriad of options, having Jey win. Many of the other feuds don't need a title chase. Punk, Roman Reigns, Cena, etc. Jey deserves it, and he does cross-connect with a ton of folks on socials. That's kind of where I fell on this, is that when you're going to have the most star-studded Royal Rumble match of all time. Meaning normally, Vince, we have what, 10 or 12 guys that legitimately say, can they main event WrestleMania? Okay. I thought we had 15 or 16 that, and we didn't have really any surprises other than I Show Speed. Hat off to him for the bumps he took. But I thought that having Jey win in a match with so many other stars, that they can now give him the rub. That if he has the ability to go out there and cut a promo, which I don't know if he does. I don't know if he does, Vince. But what I would do tonight is go out there and say, listen, you may not agree with it. You may not think that I'm main event worthy, but I just beat boom, 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 and rip all of them off. It doesn't settle the casual fan argument, and I will give you that. But that's nothing that Jey Uso can control. But I think if you want to make him a star, and if a casual fan does come in and they watch him, I would kick off Raw with Jey Uso. I would yeet for 4 or 5 minutes. I would have Michael Cole putting him over like $1 million. And then maybe if they're smart and they're watching the show right now, they write a promo for him to try to get to the casual fan, then put it up on social media to try to get them that way. Because I don't know how else you would do it at this point. As far as a casual fan, I mean.
Yeah, Coach, I agree with you, but the booking of Jey Uso between now and WrestleMania, it's got to be flawless. It just has to be flawless. And listen, man, they've showed us time and time again, that's kind of where they fall short. They can make casuals, get on board between now and there and then, but the booking's got to be flawless.
All right, so let's talk about some of the other guys. Speaking of booking, I explained on a video I posted last night on my IG page, I was in 2 Royal Rumbles. And I'm not saying that I was a star, anything like that, but I was in the room when they put the Rumble together. So I know what they're thinking. And you were also in the room for several Royal Rumbles. And what I said in my video was this, Vince, is that the art of the Royal Rumble is allowing you to win even when you lose, and getting your shine, getting your spot in, getting in there and saying, you know what? And I thought one guy that was able to do that was Jacob Fatu. And I thought the way they put him over and the spots that they put him in was absolutely incredible. And that's not easy to do when you've got all those guys in there. Now, a guy that I thought didn't do much for his stardom was Seth Rollins. I thought he was just kind of there, and they didn't do anything to push his story forward because the CM Punk was not a feature. It was all about Jey and John Cena. Did you agree that Jacob Fatu, yes, Seth Rollins, no, or who did you think shined the brightest?
It is clear they want to push Jacob Fatu. That is absolutely clear, and it is clear Solo's going to come back and Fatu's going to claim that he's head of the table, and they're going to get into Fatu and Solo and make Solo a babyface, and that's fine. But you should have started that by Fatu eliminating Solo in the Royal Rumble. Solo was not a part of the Royal Rumble. I know they're going there, Coach, and that's fine. That's a good story, but this would have been the perfect place to start it. I think another guy that really shined and looked good just by spearing Reigns alone was Braun Breaker. You know they're going to get behind him. Here's the person, man, they're going to kill. They're going to kill, man, is Drew McIntyre. They did it again to Drew McIntyre, and you can give me all the ridiculous work stories of him leaving the arena pissed off at somebody. Guys, you can't keep going to that well before Drew McIntyre means nothing. Thank God Drew McIntyre is so talented and can cut such a good promo and is so believable that he's been able to overcome, every loss, every time he's come up short. But my God, Coach, you can only go to that well so many times.
There is nobody on the roster that I've been around that I have more respect for than Drew McIntyre. And I think the side of the fence that you and I fall on is the take it seriously and respect the business aspect. And nobody does that more than Drew McIntyre. He's a guy that came and went and had to come again. His story has not been just a meteoric rise. And I think that's why he takes his role so seriously. So whether or not the storming out or somebody went into business for themselves story is true, the fact that they eliminated him well before the end of the match, I thought was incredibly surprising and not a good idea. He should have been standing strong at the end. Not if even if he didn't win. Drew McIntyre, the way he's built, the star that he is, the guy that he is, and the way that he calls people out is what you want every superstar to be. And when you eliminate him and you ask him to do the whole surprise thing, and oh my God, I can't believe that I got eliminated. That's not how he should have been eliminated. You can still make him strong and that way, but to not get him to the last 3 or 4 to me was an oversight and a mistake. And I think that Triple H and those who decided that were so focused on the ending and getting CM Punk to the final 3. So I think your comments about CM Punk spot on, and I think Drew McIntyre spot on.
Coach, let's give our audience what nobody else gives them, because you know what's going on here, Coach. You were there for decades. You know what was going on, and I've seen this backfire a million times before. Coach, unfortunately, Drew McIntyre has the bulletproof label. That's what they're looking at. That's what Triple H is looking at. Because he's so good, he's bulletproof, and you can't hurt him. That's the way they book him. And what happens, Coach, is you keep booking somebody that way, and all of a sudden they're not bulletproof anymore. And people start losing faith in that talent. I think they are right up to that line with Drew McIntyre. And I think, man, they have to start booking him a little bit more differently, or else, man, those bullets are going to start riddling through.
They're not stupid. They are not stupid. And I go back to Roman Reigns. When I went back in 2018 for my cup of coffee, Vince was adamant. Roman Reigns is going to be the guy. Roman Reigns is going to be, and the fans were like, man, he's just main evented 4 years and we're booing him. But they kept pushing him in a way to make him strong, and he became the #1 name in the business. Nike, Brand Jordan, all that kind of stuff. Don't you think that Drew McIntyre is the type of guy that if they put their machine behind him, he could be a movie star. He could be an endorsement star. He's awesome when he goes on talk shows. How do you not see that Cody Rhodes is not the only guy that can be the face of your company? And to me, it's got to be Drew McIntyre. It has to be. It has to be.
Yeah, I agree with you, Coach. But, backstage, I never worked with Drew, so I don't know how he is backstage.
He's
great.
He's great.
Well, but see, that's the problem, Coach. If he's a yes sir, no sir guy, he's making it way, way too easy for them. You know what I mean? If he goes along with the script, whatever you want me to do, I'm a team player, I'm here for the company, then they're going to continue to do that.
Well, it goes back to a lot of things we talk about here on the Coach and Bro Show, and this is the Monday edition. If you don't catch us live, you can catch us on demand at our BTT YouTube page. Is that, and we brought this up with The Undertaker a few months ago, that now backstage, because of the TV time, and there's so much extras that can come your way, being a yes sir, no sir type of person is the way a lot of the talent feel like they need to be. So when they walked in, can you imagine walking into that Royal Rumble room? And for people who don't know, you get all 30 guys are in one room at about noon, and they go over every single move. And then they go, all right, this spot, you guys just fight over here. Nobody goes into business for themselves. But can you imagine them coming in and go, oh, by the way, Drew, you're going to come in at 12. You're going to be in there for a little while. We're going to, eliminate you with 8 to go. And are you happy with that? Oh, but we're going to push Logan Paul to the moon and give him 3 or 4 really big spots, which I actually really, really enjoyed. But Logan Paul is a part-time guy. If he's a full-time guy and you can feed into that, okay. But I can't imagine that I thought the Roman Reigns was well booked, but mentioning Logan Paul and how athletic he is, how much money do you think they would have to offer him to make him a full-time talent? Because that dude, to me, has it. And he is just a natural heel as well.
Yeah, listen, him and his brother are both doing all right for themselves, so I think they would have to offer him quite a bit of money. But you never know, man. If he loves doing it, and by all indication he does, you never know. But yeah, I mean, again, Coach, we come on here a lot and talk about the it factor. That's the it factor.
It really is. And for wrestling fans who go, oh, they hate on Logan Paul for whatever reason. He's only around once every couple of months. When you're a star, and say you're Tom Cruise. If Tom Cruise was on Monday Night Raw every week, he would not be the biggest movie star in the world. If Brad Pitt, it's just not how it works. Logan Paul has figured it out. And when he shows up, he is willing to take the chances. He's willing. I mean, that move when he got eliminated, or people thought he was eliminated, and he got all the way over to the announce table, and then he goes onto the barrier, and then he leaps onto the stairs so his feet never hit the floor. That was brilliant. But not a lot of guys can do that.
Yeah.
And, I had a lot of people that I was watching ask me, they said, Coach, is there always a plan B if these decisions go wrong? Well, Vince, I go back to, I was there when they had the wrong winner. I think it was Batista and Shawn Michaels, and they hit the ground. And so Vince came down strutting to make an announcement, and he tore both quads off of his legs as the plan B. Sometimes there isn't a plan B, but you've got to make sometimes the elimination spectacular. So when you're talking about a 90-minute match, people don't just get bored out of their minds. And I thought that was a great spot when Logan Paul came in at 30. But I thought the crowd was a little disappointed because they expected The Rock to show up, and he did not.
Yeah, think about this, man. Think about this. Think of the spot that Logan Paul is put in. Just based on what Coach said, they're expecting The Rock. Here comes Logan Paul. Then on top of that, Coach, can you imagine if he F's up that move? Jumping back on the stage. Can you imagine? That says so much about the guy. 66,000 people there. God knows how many people are watching live. The reputation this dude has as the coolest kid on the bus. I mean, if he would have missed that spot, there are a lot of people, Coach, that would not have taken that chance. Man, that tells you a lot about that dude, man.
It does. It also tells you a lot about the trust that the agents and Triple H have in him, because a lot of what he did after those two spots, if he wouldn't have made it, what would they have done? It would have thrown everybody off because it was well choreographed at the end. And he got down to the final four. He was final 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And just really, really, really good. All right, so that's some insight. Jey Uso is your winner. He's going to go to the main event, probably going to be Gunther. Please let him beat Gunther so we don't have to deal with this stuff anymore as a world heavyweight champion.